Sunday, October 16th, 2016, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. I like to talk about different kinds of charts to look at prices of assets, precious metals, and in this case, we're going to be talking about gold and also shrinkflation, which basically means it's a modern term where wholesalers or retailers or manufacturers decrease the size or the packaging of products and keep the price the same. It's a way of hiding a price increase from the consumer. So first of all, I like to talk about the charts. So there's two different kinds of charts. The charts that we usually look at, that we're shown in the news, like on CNBC or Bloomberg or even my reports, is usually a linear chart. But there's also a logarithmic chart. So, and I'll go to investopedia.com to tell you the difference between both. So, and I quote from them: a linear price scale is plotted on the side of the chart so that there is an equal distance between the prices, and each unit change on the chart is represented by the same vertical distance on the scale, regardless of what price level the asset is at when the change occurs. By contrast, a logarithmic price scale is plotted so that the prices in the scale are not positioned equidistantly. Instead, the scale is plotted in such a way that two equal percent changes are plotted as the same vertical distance on the scale. So, for example, if you buy a stock at $10 and it moves up to $15, that's a $5 move. On a linear chart, if that stock went eventually from 20 to 25, the chart, the difference between 20 and 25 would be the same as the difference between 10 and 15, or $5. But in a logarithmic chart, the distance would be different, because a move from $10 to $15 is a 50% move, while a move from 20 to 25 is a 25% move. So that's the difference between the two charts. So I'm going to look at gold, of course, because it's many of my viewers' favorite, precious metals. And also, I know a lot of people are into silver, but it's been easier for me to look at gold to get the numbers. And I've actually plotted these charts, because a lot of the charts you get are linear. So I was able, with Apple numbers, to turn it into a logarithmic chart. So first of all, I'm going to bring up a linear chart, and I've plotted the monthly average gold price from the LBMA. They've got a wealth of information in terms of gold price. I know I sometimes rant about the LBMA, but they do have the data, and it's the PM fix prices. So a monthly average PM fixes, and so I'll bring up the chart now, and they go back to 1968, but I've done it from 1999. So that's the linear chart there. It starts at 200, it moves to 1025, 1850, 2675, 3500. So it moves in increments of $825, and the distance is the same. So you can see that the chart is fairly steep, and the reason why I'm going to bring up the gold price and the gold chart, the linear chart, it looks like, moving to 3,000 or 3,500 is a huge move, doesn't it? I mean, it looks almost impossible. And it puts a lot of people off from saving in gold or investing in gold. So just keep that in mind. Look how big a move it is to move from where we're now, around 1250, to 2,675. It's a huge move on that chart, isn't it? But now I'm going to show you the same chart, but the logarithmic one. So let's get it here. And it's the same same chart in terms of data. It's the LBMA monthly gold price average PM fix in dollars from 1999. So you can see on the left hand side of this chart, it goes from 100 to 1,000 and then to 10,000. So I mean, 100 to 1,000 is a $900 move, and 1,000 to 10,000, of course, is a $9,000 move. And I guess you say, oh, that's a much bigger move, $9,000. Yes, but it's the same move percentage-wise, and that's what the linear chart shows. And it just goes to show how less steep that chart is, because it plots the percentage moves equally. So if you look at the move from 1999, the average was around 250. In 2011, the average was around 1750. That's 7 times move, 700%. So from here, 700% where we are right now would be just under 9,000. So it just goes to show that it gives you a better picture of what really is happening in the gold price percentage-wise. I'm not saying it's going to 9,000, but what I'm also trying to say that it's not impossible that it can go to 3,000 or 5,000. Of course, it could go back down to 750, but I don't think so personally. Harry Dent does. But anyway, so that's the difference, you see, between the logarithmic and the linear. Usually, 99% of the time, when you look at the news and all the reports on the internet, it's all linear. But the logarithmic smooths things out and puts things into perspective. So as you've seen, the correction we've had, yeah, it hasn't been pretty, but percentage-wise, it doesn't look like too much of a drop. And the move we've had since the end of last year, yeah, it's been a $200 move, sometimes more than $200, but it just looks like a small move, compared to what we've seen in the past. So that's the logarithmic monthly chart. Let's see, I've got another chart here, and it's all, and this one is not from LBMA data. This is I got it somewhere else. It's a linear annual average gold price since 1975. So here's the chart. The difference, between 100 to 700, that's 600, and then 700 to 1300, that's another 600. So you see the difference between the prices are the same, even though the percentage moves are different. So you see how steep the chart is since 2001. But actually, if you look now, I'm going to bring up the linear chart for that. Annual gold, let's have a look. Annual gold linear. So here we go. There's the logarithmic average annual gold price. So that puts things a little bit into perspective. You can see that the move in the mid 70s to 1980 was a lot steeper than the move we had from 2001 to 2011. So there we went from just above 100 to 850. So about 8 times, maybe a little less, 7 times. So now, we got back to almost 1,000 last year. If we go up 7 times, that's just over 7,000. It's not out of the realms of possibility. Even if it just goes to 3,000 or 5,000, it's gonna look it's not gonna look as sharp as the move we saw in the 70s. So basically, that's what I'm trying to. The message here is that when you hear people in the mainstream media, CNBC, Bloomberg, come out and say, "Oh, it's impossible for gold to go to 10,000," I would think again. I'm not saying it's going there, but it's not impossible percentage-wise. So now to shrinkflation. Well, basically, my wife and I were talking this morning, and she said, oh, this rug here in our bedroom is actually smaller than the one in our daughter's bedroom, and it was the same price. And yeah, it was 60 pounds. And so I took a photo. I put the smaller rug on top of the bigger rug because she bought the bigger rug first, and then 9 months later she bought the other one. She went to the same big DIY store here in the UK, one of the big DIY stores, and it was the same price. So she picked it up and said, oh, it's still the same price. But then when she opened it, she thought it was a little smaller. So today I took a photo of it. So as you can see, it's smaller than the one that we bought 9 months earlier. And I measured it. The big one is about 2 square meters, and the smaller one is about 1.58 square meters. So on an annual basis, that was 28% more expensive. So that's what people are doing now. The manufacturers, the retailers, wholesalers, they're shrinking the product, keeping the price the same, but they're actually, you know, you're paying more, you know, in real terms. So that's what happens when you get the central bank, you know, destroying the currency. Everyone has to do the same thing. Everyone has to cheat. You know, there's no more honest weights and measures. And I'm sure that it says there on the packaging, it said, you know, the dimensions of the rug, and they were different from the dimensions of the first rug, but most people don't check that. They think, oh, it looks the same, and that's it. So that's it then. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share it, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. I'm sorry about my voice. I've got a fairly, you know, bad head cold for the last few days. And that's it. So if you like my videos as well and you think they add value, please, if you can donate. There's some links in the description below. Have a good rest of the weekend. Take care. Bye.